Hello and welcome to Fraggle Talk, a Tough Pigs podcast where we dive deep through the fantastical, whimsical world of Jim Henson's Fraggle Rock. My name is Beth and I am rewatching for the millionth time.
My name is Julia and I'm rewatching for the first time in 10 years.
My name is Adam and I am watching for the first time. Still don't have a joke for that bit. Working on it. Or sorry, I should say still don't have a non-copyrighted joke for that bit.
So, we are looking at episode 3 of season 1, Let the Water Run.
I adored this episode. I absolutely adored. This episode was a delight. Talk to me about a kid's show where the theme of an episode is anthropological misunderstandings of local ecosystemic activity.
No spoilers, but oh man, are you gonna love the reboot.
Yeah.
I'm excited.
Big portion of it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't remember this episode at all, but I really enjoyed it. It's a good one.
Yeah.
It is a very good one.
So we start off, as usual, with Doc and Sprocket. Doc is fixing the boiler to stop the pipes banging, but of course we will find out later why exactly the pipes are banging.
I also want to just acknowledge, while he's going through his tools, he says, "How did this old umbrella get here?" And I have, in all caps after that line in my notes, "Sir, you keep pineapples on hand. Don't try to use logic here."
He also at one point yells, "So that's where the cheese grater went." So,
which also, as soon he says that, he's sorting through a bunch of stuff. He puts the cheese grater in his pocket.
Yeah, you know.
And I don't know why that's where I get hung up, but I'm hung up there.
So I feel like a misplaced umbrella is like the least of his worries.
A cheese grater in the pocket is just asking for trouble.
Yeah, it's a bad move. You sit down the wrong way.
That honestly sounds like one of those old-timey sayings, like, "Oh man, I need your company like I need a cheese grater in my pocket."
That was something I forgot to talk about in the last episode, is Pa Gorg said something like, "I don't give a brass meatball." It's like, well, now hang on a minute. A brass meatball is worth more than a rat's behind.
Yeah, that's true.
I mean, that depends on to whom. Are you talking to a taxidermist?
Oh, good point.
Who specializes in rodent comedy?
So, down in Fraggle Rock, we open with Red putting on a swimming extravaganza and hanging colorful paper chains. And, oh, now we learn what Red's flaw is.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is going to be a thing with Red that we'll see more than once, certainly.
Oh, good. I appreciate it when things carry over.
She is a strong, independent Fraggle, and she needs no one's help.
And a bit of a control freak.
Yes. Yeah.
I have no idea what that's like. Also, Beth, could you do that line again? I need just like a little bit more volume and just like a little bit slower.
No.
Good.
There was one exchange that does this happen later? It's when like one of them is asking Red if there's anything that they can do, and Boober just says, "Say no," and she says no, and he says, "Good, I've got socks to watch," and then leaves immediately off screen.
And we don't see him for the rest of the episode.
Mm-hmm.
Well, of course not. He's washing his socks.
Much more important than Red's swim extravaganza, obviously.
Now that raises the question: was Dave Goelz like having another important character in the rest of this episode, or was he just off doing something else?
I mean, their commitment to the bit is at this point legendary, so it's entirely possible they were just like, "No, we said he's washing his socks."
Yeah, I don't think I clocked his voice, because the lead, we'll get into the pipe banger soon, but I'm pretty sure that's Jerry, right? Because at first I thought it was the world's oldest Fraggle, and then I was like, no, because this is Jerry, and it doesn't look like the world's oldest Fraggle.
Yeah.
Oh, speaking of voices and actors and stuff, I figured out where I know Doc from.
Oh, yeah, you made that connection, did you?
He's the bartender in Boondock Saints.
Yes, he is. The thing that he is also most well known for.
Which, what a wild two things to have next to each other on a resume.
On the top of your billing.
Mm-hmm. I mean, range.
Fraggle Rock and Boondock Saints, super similar projects, obviously.
Oh, yeah. There's some overlap in the slapstick department.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like Willem Dafoe's portrayal of that character could slot well into any Muppet movie.
Willem Dafoe could just slot well into any Muppet movie.
Oh, yeah. But we've gotten off track.
But yes, turns out you're right. The Archbanger Fraggle is played by Jerry Nelson, and therefore Dave is just off washing his socks.
Yeah, he's probably like doing some background Fraggles, you know.
Yep.
Most likely.
There's a bit when Red at the very end, when Red like dives and eats it and misses, there's a single shot where 16 different Fraggles all at the same time go, ooh, which means that 8 different people all had both of their hands above their heads doing puppets, and they all had to react in sync for one reaction shot. I love this show.
Yes. Yes. I am converting the masses.
Excellent.
I mean, not that you had far to go.
No, very. I was right on the edge, and I had 1 foot in the Fraggle. I had 1 foot on the rock already.
There you go.
There it is. Also, just want to give them props. At one point, they rhyme in Red's song. They rhyme hammer with I am her.
Yeah, let's talk about this song. Do it on my own.
Yeah. Oh, I just wanted to comment on that's a really slick rhyme.
That rhyme is very like Stephen Sondheim-esque. It's brilliant.
I rhyme 1 syllable and we could rhyme 2.
Yeah, so this is another one that has a cover on, as you might suspect, the Do It On Our Own cover album from 2018.
Oh, I get
Who
that
does
now.
the cover of this song?
This one is done by Vivian Girls, another band that I had not heard of prior to this, but will be seeking out more of their music because I liked their cover.
Cool. I should re-listen to that album, the Do It On Your Own album.
It's solid.
It's been a while. Probably worth revisiting. Not having to do with the song, but like they really like played up Wembley's ability to roll his eyes around during that song, which it's such a great like technique to have. Like
I love that.
I've been listening to the new episodes of the current Tough Pigs like podcast where they're interviewing everyone that worked on the new show, and they talked about a little bit who's playing Wembley on the new show. It's Jordan, is that right?
Yes, in Back to the Rock, Wembley is played by Jordan Lockhart.
Cool. That's also what I thought his name was, but I thought that I was wrong. Sweet. They talk a bit about like the eye mechanisms and how like they're so precise and everything, but it's a really cool gag to have with the character.
And I read that specifically for Wembley's eye mechanism, they made 2 separate puppets.
Whoa.
Because, you know, any kind of mechanical thing is going to take up space in the puppet that could otherwise be used for manipulation and expression. So they only used that puppet when they were planning to use the eye mechanism.
Don't the mechanisms also make the puppets heavier when they're in? I would assume, like, it's one more thing. Your arm is, you know, up in the air for how many hours a day, and, like, you know, the puppet starts to feel a lot heavier the longer you do it, and I can only imagine more things on and inside the puppet just adds to that weight as well. Yeah, so they probably... Yeah, having a second puppet is really smart.
I love the world building in this episode. I love that we don't really see what the theme is going to be immediately, and that we don't see the theme until they send Junior out to pump water. And then we immediately hard cut to the Fraggles watching their water drain. And it's like, oh, you didn't have to tell us, hey, we're going to look about water this time around. They're like, no, it's just, you're going to see it. It's good storytelling.
And I love that they're just like, oh, yeah, I wonder why it goes away. Well, nobody knows. It's just always been that way.
I like the cut between the Fraggles being like, we wonder why it disappears every day. And then it cuts to Junior immediately being like, I wonder why Pa takes a bath every day. And you're like, oh, well, that's obviously where their water is going.
Yep.
Bada bing, bada boom.
And it's such a slick move to showcase both the interconnectedness and the mutual lack of awareness of interconnectedness.
Bingo.
So it's like, not only are we reliant on each other and affecting each other, literally affecting each other, neither of us are aware of that. Neither of us had any idea of that.
Yeah, really like they're living in their own bubbles and, you know, very focused inward and less so the world around them.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah, and that's something, you know, that we're going to see evolve over the course of the series, and so it makes it the perfect place for episode 3, season 1. Just be like, nah, they're oblivious. We're showing you the audience, so you get it, but they're not going to get it for a while.
Yeah, the world building is really smart. They're like, these first couple episodes, they're really just like laying out the entire groundwork of like, all the differences within, like, you know, Doc and the Fraggles and the Gorgs, and even we haven't gotten too much of the Doozers just yet, but like we got a bit of them in the first episode, and now we're also like starting to see how they are interconnected, but like, you know, still like separate at the same time.
Yeah.
How much do I want a bathtub as big as Pa Gorg's?
Oh, God, yes.
Right?
So basically a jacuzzi.
It's so big.
I am very long of limb. I just don't fit in tubs. I just don't fit in tubs.
That's why you need a Gorg-sized bathtub.
I do.
You'd probably fit in that one.
Probably. At least a little bit.
My new place has a clawfoot bathtub and it's so deep.
I'm jealous.
I mean, it's shorter, granted, but it's deeper.
I mean, Beth, I definitely need to visit you and just take a bath.
Yeah.
We can hang out too, but like...
Bath first, hang out second.
Definitely.
I get it. You got your priorities.
I do. You are on the list and you are number 2. So don't knock it. Anyways, that's an amazing bath. And then they send him out for water, and there isn't any.
So there's this weird line. So Junior's like, well, oh no, there's no more water. And Ma Gorg is like, tell your son what our royal ancestor, King Gorg the Great, used to say. Excuse me, there was a Gorgish king named King Gorg? This guy's name was Gorg the Gorg?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, just like President Human.
Also, if that implies that there's like a long lineage of Gorgs. Who are the Gorgs? Are there more Gorgs, do you think? Because that would imply that they've been able, and I don't want to get into how the characters on this show reproduce at all, 0%, but that implies that there have been families of Gorgs.
Well, did she call him the great-grandfather?
She calls him our royal ancestor.
Oh, that's the least helpful.
It is.
Yeah.
We're definitely going to get more Gorgish lore down the line.
So that would imply that there's got to be like more Gorgs out there.
You mean there've got to be morgues?
Hypothetically, they could be the last of the Gorgs, or they could be just like really far removed from any others that exist.
That's true. Maybe because like Pa's going on about like how he's king of the universe. Maybe they've been like exiled from all the other Gorgs because they're like, hey, y'all go and do your king of the universe thing somewhere else. We're gonna be over here and have like a calm existence.
That would be. Could you imagine if we meet Gorg society and they're all just like aristocracy, bourgeoisie, completely, utterly, deeply refined and deeply peaceful and respectful. And they're like, yeah, that dude was off his rocker. We just wouldn't let him hang out with us.
Does not represent our community, not whatsoever.
I really like the line that you brought up, though, Beth, and I have that in my notes as a comparison with the whole pipe banging ritual, because we get to see 2 different cultural versions of something that at the time was probably relevant and good advice, but is no longer useful and no longer applicable. And in the case of the Gorgs, it probably wasn't even that good advice to begin with, and it's one of those where it's like, oh, like, yeah, younger generation can see things as they are. Older generation is just going to gaslight the younger generation because they don't want to go check the reality for themselves.
Yeah.
I'm a bitter millennial, and it shows.
The line, there is always water, is like,
There's always water, so just go out and apply for a job.
Oh no.
Oof.
But yeah, we meet the pipe bangers, and they're great.
They're so good.
Was that, they did that before Stomp did their thing, right?
Presumably, right?
I'm going to look that up.
Didn't Stump come around in the 90s?
I think it did, yeah.
I was going to say, they feel like a 90s thing. I definitely remember them on an episode of Mad About You and an episode of Mr. Rogers.
Wait, Stomp was on Mr.
Mr.
Rogers?
Yeah, Mr. Rogers worked with
That's
Stomp.
awesome. That's amazing. That makes me so happy.
Mr. Rogers.
Yeah, you gotta go watch this after. Okay, date of premiere 1991. So yeah. So the Pipe Bangers are the original Stomp.
Cool. So Stomp owes them some royalties. Yeah, good. And again, like, we get to see this ritual that probably was originally rooted in an understanding of local ecosystem, but the ritual has been passed down and the understanding hasn't, so now it's just a useless ritual. Except it's not useless because the song's a banger.
The song's a banger, and it presumably has always worked up until this point, where suddenly it is not working, and there is no water.
Yeah, it's just, I love the comparison and the dichotomy of like, yes, this has always worked, but we don't know why, and so when it doesn't work,
yeah,
we're SOL.
Definitely.
It really reminds me of the Tim Minchin line. I don't know if y'all know Tim Minchin.
Yeah.
I do.
Yeah, that line, I don't believe just because ideas are tenacious, it means that they're worthy.
That's from my favorite Christmas song.
It's one of mine too.
Yep.
Anyways, what happens next?
So next we go to Traveling Matt's postcard. He observes a race of creatures who can pull water from the sky.
Yep, he does.
So basically he's observing humans, just, they gather around a sacred pole, which is a bus stop. And then they look up at the sky and hold out their hands, and then they transform their sticks into upside-down bowls, which are umbrellas. They hold over their heads, and at that very moment, water poured from the sky. And it's great to see an outsider's interpretation of this sacred ritual.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and it fits in, again, with the theme of, like, deep anthropological misunderstandings of various different cultures, especially with regards to causality.
That is pretty much Traveling Matt's whole shtick.
And it's so good! Oh my god, I love it!
It's also very weird as a Pacific Northwesterner to see this many people with umbrellas.
That is true.
Although it is nice, the little girl, like, runs out and just holds her umbrella over him, and it's like, aw.
Mm-hmm.
That was great.
Yeah, very sweet.
So now Traveling Matt appreciates how much simpler it is to have pipe bangers.
Mm-hmm. Also, I just want to comment, when the water doesn't come, the lead pipe banger says, "Pipes work in wondrous ways," and I was like, oh, we're calling shots here. Okay, dang.
Wait, what is he calling shots at?
That's very similar in cadence and structure to "God works in mysterious ways."
Ah.
That is on the nose.
It's one of those moments where when you in your position of power have failed to do the thing you're supposed to do, you can just be like, meh, God.
Mm-hmm.
Here's a cop-out.
Well, oh, no, specifically they're called, there was a post about this, it was thought-terminating cliches.
Oh.
They're specifically designed to stop you from thinking about a thing or talking about a thing.
Whoa, there's a word for that.
Right? I should teach my kiddos that as a vocabulary word.
I love that.
Write that down.
So at the end of the postcard, Red says, "Oh, there's no such thing as an umbrella." Gobo says, "There is too. There's one in the room in outer space." Red says she'll go. Gobo says she can't because she's never been out there, which, like, okay, let her be the judge of what she can do. I appreciate that he's being concerned for her safety and that Red has spent this whole episode being like, I can do everything and I don't need anybody's help. But
yeah,
Wembley and Moki don't want her to go alone, and Gobo reassures them that he'll keep an eye on her.
Mm-hmm.
Which, that is a nice way to handle it. He's like, all right, you can go, but I'm going to be there as a safety net if need be.
Yeah.
Julia, what was your take on this scene?
So this next part with, like, Red has always been kind of the most challenging of the characters for me, where she is, like, very just, like, strong-willed, and in one way it is admirable that she's, like, so believes in herself, but, the characteristic of not letting other people help when they are offering, from personal experience, can be a little bit frustrating. But, it is nice to see. So in the next bit, when she's going to go and she's going to go grab the umbrella, but then she realizes she's, like, too afraid to do it. And then Gobo is there. Like, she has to admit to him, like, hey, I actually, like, am scared to do this. What does she say exactly to him?
She says, I need your help.
Yeah, she just asks for help, yeah.
And he says, that's all you needed to say.
Yeah, although, like, at the same time, it's very clear, like, when Gobo comes up behind her that she's too scared, but he kind of, like, makes her sit in it until she says the words to him. Like, he can tell that she's too afraid to go out, but he's like, I'm just gonna wait until she asks for help, and then I'll help. But, she's been headstrong this entire time.
I mean, you could also just be giving her space to maybe actually just do it.
That's true. There is also that.
That was my read, although your read is super valid. The thing that I love about this scene is the timing of it. I timed it. It takes a little over a full minute for her to, like, show up, try to psych herself up, work her way through it, and then realize she can't. They give that a full minute of screen time. They don't play it for laughs. They don't rush it. It's just, here is someone processing. This is what it looks like when a hyper-competent ego meets a difficult reality and realizes that they are not capable of a thing.
Yeah. That's something the show is really good about, just giving space to moments, like, not rushing through them and being like, bam, bam, bam. It's like, this is a character working through something, and, it's not going to last for forever because we do have a show to do, but, like, we're going to let it play out and see you process, like, this character's, like, emotions as they're trying to deal with it.
Yeah. And then it takes, I think that, yeah, which I appreciate a lot. Like, that's how you demonstrate to kids how to do this kind of thing.
Yeah.
And then they take another minute and a half for her to get to the point where she can ask Gobo for help. Like, that scene, I think it's the longest scene without music in the entire episode.
Quite possibly, yeah.
It's a solid 10th of the runtime.
The silence feels important there. Like, you can feel the weight of Red's fear and feel the weight of her pausing.
No, they play the emotional beat completely honestly and completely earnestly, and I have so much respect for that.
Yeah. And I really love that they didn't, have Gobo, say the point. They didn't have him say, hey, it's good to try and do all these things, but it's also really good to ask for help sometimes. Like, they didn't need to say the thing. They did show, don't tell.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Yeah.
Well, Red, it looks like sometimes you can't do it on your own, and you need to ask for help. Turn to camera, smile, give a thumbs up. No.
I also just really appreciated the puppeteering. Like, even in those moments of silence, you can see the physicality of Red. Like, she does a gulp, and I'm like, how... Puppets do not have throats. This puppet does not have an esophagus. How did Karen Rell make Red look like she swallowed?
Yeah.
Yeah, the little details are absolutely masterful. No seams in the world building.
I do want to give a shout out to Sprocket, who, unlike most dogs, apparently loves getting a bath. He's got this whole setup with, his bathtub, and he brings in a rubber ducky, and he's got shampoo and soap and a scrub brush and a shower cap and a hairdryer. He's just got a hairdryer sitting there, and granted, the water isn't there yet, but, like, you want to wait for that step, buddy. Don't bring a hairdryer into the bath.
Yeah, it's a little dangerous.
I love that you're acknowledging that a dog is smart enough to create all of the various elements needed to turn bath time into self-care, and then admonishing him for not being smart enough to understand the dangers of electrical equipment near baths.
I mean, he was smart enough at the start of the episode when Doc was like, hand me that certain wrench, and he did it. Like, he's a smart dog. He should understand.
Yeah, he should understand that's the danger tube. You don't put it in the water.
The dangers of electricity plus bath time.
But yeah, he manages to get the umbrella, give it to Red, and Red gives it to the lead pipe banger. And I just, again, no seams in the world building. The exclamation that the old pipe banger says when he gets the thing is he goes, almighty moisture!
And she addresses him as your sogginess.
Right? Like, world building, so good.
So she tries to explain to the archbanger that, oh no, this is an umbrella. It actually works differently. It's not just one of the ordinary banging sticks. And he's like, excuse me, I know a sacred banging stick when I see one, and just goes ahead with the ritual as usual. Either way, it works. The water comes back because Doc turned the water back on, and Red gets to have her swimming extravaganza.
Her flying fish costume is great.
Right.
It's so good. I want to watch her fight crime in it.
Yeah, it really looked like an outfit for like a superhero costume.
I just think what a lucky human being got to make a flying fish costume for a Fraggle.
Someone in that costume department, or I guess prop department. I guess their costume department is just Doc.
Fair. Doc and like whatever random humans that Traveling Matt meets.
Yeah, that's true. That is a good point. Puppet costume department.
No, I think props is the right call on that one.
Props, yeah.
But yeah, I love the absolute chutzpah of having a resolve of an episode where nobody's learned anything. None of these characters have any deeper understanding of where the water comes from, why it stopped, why it's coming back. They've all got their stories that they use to justify it, but they're all wrong.
Yeah. Like the Fraggles are like, oh, we just have this new banging stick now, and this is going to solve the problems in the future. And that's kind of it. Did the Gorgs even like come up with a solution, or were they just like, oh, hey, the water is back?
Oh, see, the adults never realized the water was gone. They just gaslit Junior into staying there.
That's true. That is a good point. They just kept being like, Junior, you're not doing it right. Go back and go get more water.
Yeah.
And yeah, Doc is still convinced, like, oh, I fixed the pipes, and now they're not banging anymore.
Yeah.
Yep. So speaking of Doc, if y'all will indulge a little bit of philosophy, Doc controls a significant portion of the local ecosystem here. So an argument could be made that they're setting him up as God.
Whoa.
Within the idiom, which would mean that the god of this world is incompetent, unaware, and generally selfish and uncaring. And that's a bold statement to make in the 80s. Like, they did that with Steve Buscemi now, and they're still getting flack for it. Mm-hmm. Anyways, that has been tripping me out, looking at the way that they're setting up his status and the effects that he has without even realizing that he's having effects.
Beth, are we going to see, because I can't remember because it's been so long, do we see more effects that, like, Doc has on the ecosystems of the Fraggles and Doozers and the Gorgs, or is it really just, like, the control of the water?
I would say that the water is the only thing that I would describe as an ecosystem thing. Like, we see what happens when Doc finally decides to try and board up that hole to Fraggle Rock.
Yes. You know, and I'm sure, like, certain objects from his workshop probably end up in Fraggle Rock at some point as well.
Yeah.
That's fascinating, because that doesn't necessarily set him up then as God as much as it sets him up as, like, some kind of extra-dimensional, like, eldritch being.
I mean, it is called outer space.
I love the idea of opening a portal to, like, the Elder Gods and finding Cthulhu just, like, poorly repairing a boiler and ignoring you completely because he hasn't noticed you.
Just bickering with his dog.
Right? Anyways.
Yeah, so a note about the international versions of this episode.
Yes.
Okay, according to Muppet Wiki, in the French version, Doc discovers an elaborate mechanical coffee maker which belonged to his uncle Georges. This device can produce tea, coffee, or hot chocolate. Doc attempts to set the machine up, occasionally distracted by the tapping on his pipes and hooking it up to the water supply at the source. Croquette assists by baking a pastry to accompany their coffee, but gets impatient and eats the entire thing. When Doc and Croquette finally prepare to enjoy their hot beverages, the machine confounds them by churning out chunks of ice.
Okay.
Looks like the German version is pretty much identical. And in the UK version, the captain, who lives in the lighthouse, notices that the water pipes in the lighthouse have frozen over, so he sets out to fix the pipes and is interrupted a number of times by Gobo.
That's very different. I usually ask, and would like to continue, although I think you answered at the beginning. Julia, what about this did you remember, and what about it completely caught you off guard?
I didn't remember really anything from this episode. I don't know if anything caught me off guard. Like, it just felt like a classic, like, Fraggle Rock episode, you know, with nothing too jarring. I will say, like, I forgot how, like, maybe not violent, but, like, so into, like, war and world domination Pa Gorg is, like, and, like, now it's, like, coming back to me. It's like, oh, yeah, this is just going to be part of his character moving forward. But it's definitely, you know, without spoiling the new show, like, we haven't really gotten, like, the world domination vibes yet on the new show from the Gorgs just yet. So, interesting to revisit.
Beth?
I was really looking forward to hearing the song, Red Song, Do It On My Own. It's very catchy, and once again, I find myself confounded by the plot holes that arise from the lyrics. Like, there's the line, I can pop the popcorn, I can fill the pop machine. Like, hang on a second. Where did y'all get a popcorn machine? The fact that you have popcorn, I might be willing to accept. Mm-hmm. We're going to see more of that in more songs later down the line.
Excellent. One of the things that I just noted, like, General Pa is such a pathetic human being. Like, can you imagine the kind of person who just, like, walks around their house with a sword and shield? Because, like, look, if you have a cool sword and you want to walk around with your sword, go for it. Swords are great. But if you're walking around with a sword and shield specifically because that's your version of a teddy bear and you need it to feel in charge of things, like, go to therapy.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like all the Gorgs could benefit from therapy.
For real.
Yeah, especially Junior. Junior, you don't need them. They don't treat you good.
No. They don't.
Oh, poor kid.
Get on FAFSA when you turn 18, and because you don't have a job, you'll get a lot of support and go somewhere far away.
It's 2022. Therapy's all the rage.
Yup.
Everyone's doing it.
Good for you. My therapist is so good. Love my therapist so much. Anyways, I had one more thing in my notes that I just wanted to touch on.
Yeah.
The last bit, Sprocket's all ready to take his bath, and then Doc shows up and just takes all his stuff. He just robs his dog.
They're also wearing matching shower caps, and it like also looks like they've got matching like towels or bathrobes or something as well. So I liked that, but I did not like the move of Doc being like, "Oh, it's ready. I'm gonna go first," obviously.
Right? Like, dude, you were not nice to your dog.
Poor Sprocket.
Anyways, shall we close with a way we can all make the world a little bit fragglier?
Don't be afraid to ask for help when you really need it.
Amen to that. Keep doing your meaningless rituals that don't actually do anything, because it's the ritual itself that's important.
If you're diving into a swimming pool, make it into the water.
She flew through the air and... Yeah, what a bad time.
Again, I love any slapstick bit that involves just hucking a puppet.
And Red takes it like a champ.
Oh, yeah. That's the bit we'll close. She looks up and goes, "You want me to see me do it again?" Like, wow.
Yeah.
Takes a lick and keeps on ticking.
What a pro.
Thanks so much for joining us on Fraggle Talk. We sure would love it if you would rate and review this podcast. And don't forget to follow Tough Pigs on social media. And if you want to find me, I am at Beth Anna Cook. Julia?
I am at Geek Girl Grown Up.
And I am at Badger Blossom on Bandcamp and Spotify if you're into lo-fi hip-hop and you want to check out my EP called Moments and Memories.
Thanks for joining us. We'll see you next time.
Don't forget to dance your cares away.
Fraggle Talk Classic is brought to you by ToughPigs.com. Fraggle Talk art by Dave Holteen Jr. The Fraggle Rock mark and logo, characters, and elements are trademarks of the Jim Henson Company. All rights reserved. The Fraggle Rock theme song, written by Philip Balsam and Dennis Lee, is used with permission. Special thanks to the Jim Henson Company and the entire Fraggle Rock family. For more from Tough Pigs, please find us at Tough Pigs on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, TeePublic, and Patreon. Fraggle Talk Classic is produced and edited by me, Beth Cook. Thank you to Joe Hennis, the Tough Pigs Muppet Fan Podcast executive producer. Thanks for listening, and we'll see you next time, down at Fraggle Talk.
Sure. And this one just had an old man crying.
He was talking about, like, going to a job fair or something. So maybe,
Okay.
he gets to turn over a new leaf.
That's the treasure he's been seeking all along. Capitalism.